right. We got to get in here. I've got some things to show you. I've got some things to fix. And we're going to move on and have a good time here. Taking a look. Yeah. Let's get this started. We're right over here. Hey there, friends. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whatever time it might be in your part of the world.
Greetings, my excellent friend.
It is so good to see you. My name is Jeff Fritz, and today is July 29th, 2025. And we're going to write a little bit of code today. How you doing there, chat room? Let me bring them up. They're right over here. We're broadcasting live on Twitch and YouTube. Let me bring up, there's YouTube. There we go. Yeah, and it's now muted on YouTube. Let me catch you up with folks that are here bright and early getting things started. Napalm, happy time zone to you. C Sharp Titan, good evening to you. Mythin with the sub.
Mithin01 just resubscribed for 46 months. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is in your part of the world.
That's right. How you doing there? Thank you so much for that resub. Surly Dev, good to see you there with the hat command. That's right. I'm wearing my Puerto Rico hat from the World Baseball Classic. They were wearing this style hat. I like this one. It's unique in my collection because it's got a bottle cap opener built into the brim. Like, this is perfect for partying or out on the beach and having a bottle cap opener right there in your hat. Like, okay. I've never seen someone take off their hat and use it to open a bottle, but hey, it's right there. And it's on both sides too. So, like, you can see it's like it's cut through there, and the bottle cap opener is on the top. Pretty neat. Pretty neat. How you doing there, Ms. Tess? Charlie will be taking over the chat momentarily. Good to see you again. Billy Cool with a big wave. Patty Boy, how you doing there in Glasgow? You missed the office assistants? What can I tell you? What can I tell you? That's something that was sent away, and now they've come back with a vengeance as large language models. It's the same thing. It's the same goal. So, Shader Full Clip, you have 2 decades of CNC program experience, and you're trying to get an entry-level programming job. Wow, okay. It's been very difficult at 41 years to get an interview. You know the basics well, have original projects, no to-do list or weather apps. Any advice would be enormously appreciated. I feel your pain. I understand where you're coming from there. I would tell you, keep practicing your craft. Entry-level positions right now are hard to get because there's this culture shift happening with folks pushing and promoting and saying, hey, we need to use the AI more. I don't agree with that culture shift, but it is a difficult moment right now for a lot of folks as we're adjusting and learning what's happening here. Keep an ear open. Keep practicing your craft. Try new things. Get in and try writing code that uses and interacts with the language models. We showed 2 weeks ago that you can work with the language models on GitHub completely free. They are no cost to anybody. Have a GitHub account. You can access the GitHub free models out there. Tinker with those. Learn how to use them inside your applications. Not just work with Copilot or some other AI tool to generate code, but how you can bring value to your applications by using those models, right? It's one thing to know how to build web applications, work with a database. The next frontier that we need to learn how to integrate with are the AI models. So you can go back and watch the bootcamp that I taught. The video recording is over on YouTube. You can find it on Twitch as well. It'll roll off of Twitch in about 2 months, but you'll always be able to find it on YouTube, on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/C#Fritz. same screen name as over here on Twitch. And take a look at those and figure out how you can bring value. What are the interesting bits that you can add into your applications by bringing AI? We need to learn how to differentiate ourselves as developers. We need, right? The thing that I always stress with folks is you need to always be learning. There's always change happening in this industry, and we've got to keep up. So take a look at that, push on that, and see where you can get to doing some work with that. So that would be my initial push there. Yeah, some things to fix. Don't you hate it when a Git merge goes wrong? Like really wrong. Like all the stuff that I fixed, yeah, it's broken again. Not only is it broken, but there's other junk that I fixed that's re-broken. Like, I'll show you what we've got here. Can we actually open a beer with the cap? I don't keep beer bottles. And first off, I have celiac, so I don't drink beer typically. I'll drink ciders, but I will get cider in bottles, but as of recently, I haven't been getting bottles. I've been getting cans. So I don't have a bottle to try with right now, but I'm nearly positive that can be done. At the very least, I can open a can with that. So, Jean Valjean, good to see you. Hello. Thank you so much for tuning in. That's Coder 24601 to you. C Sharp Titan says, thanks for doing the AI and Aspire boot camps. Really appreciate it and thoroughly enjoyed it. That's great. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Let me get some music playing in the background here, and we'll go through and talk a little bit more. I've been listening to some other music on YouTube that is also free. I'm not gonna attempt it on the stream up. Give me some time to figure that out. Let me go with the Stream Beats Synthwave playlist. I'm gonna scroll somewhere down here. Let's go with this one. This is called Turn 1. This is music that's DMCA free, royalty free. Listen to it wherever you'd like. Twitch, YouTube, doesn't matter. It's free. It's accessible for everyone to listen to. Big thanks to Harris Heller and his team of creators for this music that we're listening to today. Good luck with that philosophy when the seniors retire or move on and no one is there to replace them. Exactly, Napalm. This is the short-sightedness that some CIOs and CTOs are running into. Oh, gosh. I don't need to hire junior developers. The AI is my junior developer. No. Everybody levels up. Everybody takes a step up. You don't have junior developers running around anymore cleaning up the hole punches and managing the stacks of punch cards that the senior developers were writing and punching back in the 70s. No, they don't do that. They now write some of the code and key it in that and design and do some of the implementations that the senior developers design. Everybody levels up. Now in the world of AI, senior developer writes the prompts, passes things in, and I haven't seen this yet, but I'm assuming after what comes out, go junior developer, come through, review, make sure that we didn't miss anything, make sure we didn't break anything, and move on and continue and advance things. So there's a growth that's happening right now in the industry, and folks are learning exactly what that means. So with the lockdown, more people got into software developer. Yeah, with COVID, folks pivoted and got into software development, and there was a hiring spree because a lot of companies pivoted and said, we got to build new software capabilities, features, because folks are working from home. Folks are doing more virtual interaction. How do we do that? How do we support that? And that growth happened. So we're now seeing this unstable this unstable hiring market for tech folks because of that pivot. And it's changing, it's shifting. There are lots of companies out there that are hiring and that aren't able to find developers. So while you might see news that, oh my gosh, Microsoft laid off a couple thousand developers, yeah, Microsoft has 200,000 employees. So when you hear Microsoft lays off 5,000 engineers, it's not even 10% of the company. It's not even 5% of the company. Like, there's perspective there that we need to keep in mind. And I'm seeing even more features that my Git merge broke, and I am not happy about that at all. Because now it's not doing, yeah. It's not doing any of the things that it's supposed to be doing. Oh man. I didn't want to spend a bunch of time revisiting and rewriting a handful of features for Charlie because I updated the map and it's so good. And I told it to fix the throttling features on the map. And no, it's completely freaking broken. You stink, Git merge logic. Ugh. The irony is AI is not there yet. Yeah, that's right. The AI is not there, and there's a lot further it's going to go. However, it's my belief that we're going to see organizations get frustrated and annoyed with how much they're spending on tokens and not seeing as good or as high quality results as they were getting from their tech folks. And there will be a backslide that happens because of unmet expectations. So, Git undo, yeah, I wish. You don't like hearing about the Microsoft layoffs? We don't like hearing about it. Several blogs wrote articles over the last 2 weeks saying that Microsoft employees are shaken and that confidence is down across the company. These blogs are saying because of the lack of security that folks feel. I totally hear that. I understand where they're coming from in that. It's a scary thing, layoffs at that frequency. So it's hard to go through a layoff and see your work friends go through it as well. Yes. As web dev with 6 years experience, at the last layoff, I had to deal with searching for 12 weeks while my previous longest search was 6 weeks with an average of 3 weeks. Ugh. The stream elements, that's the other thing I forgot to clear out. Let me turn off these stream elements messages. Thank you. Get those cleared out. 1 second, I'll turn those off. I turned off a bunch of the other things. I've also got to remove the panel just below on Twitch. Where do we go here? Timers. Yep, there they are. Boom, ba-boom, boom, ba-doom. This one, that one. Fortunately, I've got them all lined up here. I'm going to leave the Charlie messages on about the map and the question queue. Even though I wouldn't be surprised if they're broken again. And yeah, I am not happy with this Git merge. Cool. All the stream elements notifications are turned off. And go ahead, take a look. That appears to be working. Take a look at my channel, and I'll remove the panel down there. There it is. And hey, wow, June recap. Come on. What the heck are you doing here? Twitch just taking forever to load. There we go. All right. Thank you for the follow, JFree23. You were thinking of applying for a job at Microsoft, but with the recent news, I don't feel like it anymore. I've heard that from many people now, Billy. Many people. You are not alone. So, one of the things you see a lot when I pair program with Copilot is a lot of hacky or one-off solutions. So, part of that is the direction that you give Copilot. Tell it to create a more complete solution. Thank you for the follow. And to verify and to double check things and to make sure that things are compatible. And you'll see, you'll see in the prompts that we submit here today that it does a better job with those things. C# Titan asking, any updates on the visor glasses? No updates. However, there are some suspicions. Oh my God. Copilot, you really screwed up. You really screwed up, Copilot. Like, this is ridiculous. No. Seriously? I think that's better, but yeah, still screwed up. So regarding the visor glasses, there are, come on. Good, okay, the question queue is actually working now. Regarding the visor glasses, there's been a bit of chatter going on, and Immersed hasn't said a thing. They've been completely quiet and have not published a message. However, Samsung and Google had a press release last week where they announced that they are releasing Android XR at the end of September, and Samsung is the launch partner with their Android XR goggles coming out the second week of October. Samsung is the launch partner. We have seen and heard that Immersed wants to launch with Android XR. That these are rumors that have floated. This is information that has been shared through some of the investor channels. There is an investor update today at 3 p.m. Eastern, so in about 6 hours, 5.5 hours. We'll hear more then because they got to be truthful with their investors about what the hell is going on. It is my belief that Immersed is trying to wait for... Oh, and Immersed has also, on that press release with Samsung, has been announced as a launch partner for those goggles, that the Immersed software will be on the Samsung Android XR goggles. It's my belief, it's my conjecture, in lieu of receiving any information from the company about what the heck is going on, it is my belief that Immersed and the visor goggles are hamstrung by Google and Samsung because they want Samsung to be the exclusive launch partner for Android XR. That Qualcomm, who made the Android Spaces OS that the visor was originally built on, Qualcomm has redirected folks over to use Android XR because they're discontinuing Android Spaces. It's my belief then that Immersed is forced to hook up with Google. They're burning money like fire, and they can't release the product because Google has an exclusivity contract with Samsung, and it's forcing Immersed to not release until some exclusivity window that Samsung has after October. My guess would be that Samsung wants the the end of year holiday season to themselves and has effectively blocked Immersed until Q1 2026. In lieu of any information being published for the company, and it's been 5 months since they've written a thing or published a press release. We don't know what's going on, and it's my belief that they've been blocked from releasing, from working with and testing and doing anything with the new operating system, because the folks who do have pre-production units don't have the new operating system. They don't have test versions of Android XR. So it's my belief that instead of releasing Visor version 1 with the operating system that they've been building towards for the past 3 years, scope creep happened and they've stopped because Qualcomm said, we're not supporting this. You need to get off our operating system because Qualcomm is an investor in Immersed. And they're being forced to go over to Android XR. And they've been forced into this scope creep. And this is why Immersed is begging for investors and is not going the traditional route to angel investors, because the angel investors sees them going up against Samsung. And quite frankly, if Samsung wants lenses, chips, displays, they're going to get them before a small company based in Austin. So it's my belief that Immersed is delayed until at least Q1 2026, if not Q2 2026, April 2026, because of these contractual obligations that the tech giants are blocking them out of. Instead of shipping when they had a product that was supposedly ready to go in Q1 2025, they got blocked out. So, talking about AI tokens, there's a statistic that says companies will spend tens of millions of dollars annually. I believe that, and I believe that they're going to see that, and they're going to outspend their HR costs by spending on that they're attempting to replace with those AI tokens and AI features. If someone were to interview for Microsoft and raise the recent redundancies during an interview seeking some confidence or reassurance, how do you think that would be taken? Badly. I think it would be taken badly. Because the only people who feel good about those, from what I've seen and heard from my colleagues, the only people who feel good about those are executive management. You raised a similar topic in an interview once, and they got really upset at the question. Yes. I don't think it's out of bounds in an interview to ask someone about the security of a position. What happened to the person who worked in this position previously? Why is this a new position? How long is the commitment to building this product, to servicing, supporting these capabilities? What guarantee do I have that I'll have a job next year? Is this a long-term thing? Is this a new product that we're investing in for the long run? I don't think it's out of bounds to ask about the stability and security of a position during an interview. Phrase it correctly, though, and ask about what happened to the person who worked that position previously. Were they promoted? Were they laid off because they didn't do a good enough job? What are the expectations for this position? How long do you expect to be committed to budget for having somebody work this position? I think those are all well in bounds during an interview. Yes, communicate. The immersed folks haven't communicated. It's going to be 6 months without any communications to the public. We've gotten communications through various investors that have leaked. They've even stood up a fake website, a fake news website that only covers them. That's weird. The immersed folks have a lot of answering to do. And we'll see what happens on this investor call later today. So, Eric, that's a great question. A follow-up question. What are the growth prospects of this position? Yep. If someone is vibe coding, hacky one-offs will get put into the code base. Yes, and that's where I think junior developers developing and writing test scenarios and validating the code that's being generated by the AI will go a long way. So, still seeing bot messages? Oh my gosh. Stream Elements, I shut you off. Like, you're turned off. What are you doing here? Timers. Why is that still on? I turned that off. Yeah. All right, that should be all of them now. Yep, the chat but the Charlie ones there, those should be appearing. Let me see here. One of your first Copilot instructions is, I want solid, object-oriented programming friendly solutions. Weirdbeard Dev, I put that type of instruction into my Copilot instructions file so that it does behave well and does give me good responses. So, you believe no company can't promise they exist for more than 3 months? You believe no company can promise they exist? Come on now. No. Don't panic on YouTube. You need some advice? I don't know what I'm really good at. Like, sometimes I get interested in machine learning, but then found myself interested in web dev, DevOps, random sci-fi book. That's okay. You're at 20 and 3 years into a CS degree, you are at an amazing jump-off point to figure out your career. Don't get committed to anything yet. Explore, right? A lot of folks, when they graduate college, right, they want to go and take a year to go explore the world, see what there is to see, that kind of thing. Do that with tech. Let me take a look at different types of technology. What's it like to build websites? What's it like to build a game? What's it like to build VR things? How about mobile apps? What's involved with that? What's interesting there? Try a bunch of stuff. I graduated from college and went to work for a consulting firm. Now, when I graduated from college, the consulting firms were all doing Y2K fixes. Can I tell you how boring it is to go work for a company and your job is to find everywhere that the year is represented by 2 digits and update it so it's 4? Like, that was a find and replace operation, and then go test everything and make sure it still works. Like, or you write the windowing code so that when there is a 2-digit year, it windows off at a certain year in the past. Oh, we're doing an age review? Okay. Well, if somebody keys in that they were born in 1910, 1905, if the 2 digits are 05, that's okay. We're okay with that. But if the 2-digit year for their insurance policy started is 05, no, that's going to be in 2000. Insurance policies aren't 95 years old. And having to write all that code and manage it and review it and rewrite it was a pain in the neck. And learning about those windowing algorithms for the years, 2-digit years, was so annoying. spend time exploring some of the cool stuff that's out there now. There's lots of really cool tech that's out there. Like, as a developer, the things that you can explore and learn by asking ChatGPT. Tell ChatGPT or Copilot. I like Copilot because it actually searches and works with Bing, so you get search results that come back with the things that you ask it. But go over to Copilot and Microsoft.com. Key in, hey, I'm a computer science student. I'm early in my career here. I'm looking at getting started. I'm really into these couple things. What else can I explore that will help feed my interest there? And see what it tells you. Because there's some very cool things that you're going to discover. And the things that are cool and interesting right now are going to go away at some point in the next 5 years. They just are. That's the nature of tech. Because something is going to replace it. The web is 30 years old. It gets updated, migrated, and the World Wide Web is the great equalizer. It democratizes information so that everybody can interact with it, right? Anybody can open a browser on any device, and you can browse and find what's on the web. It doesn't hurt to learn the web. The web is not going anywhere anytime soon. But being augmented and folks trying to pivot and say you need the AI web, I think they're full of crap. Things are growing and changing. AI is not going to replace the web. Anybody who tells you that is full of it. They don't know what they're talking about. They don't understand how invested folks are at different levels. And they don't understand that at scale, AI is really freaking expensive. For little tasks that you can cache and hand off and repeat, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Yeah, folks trying to do Web 4 with the AI. Is WinUI the new WPF? No. I can firmly say to you, WPF is far superior to WinUI in the things that it can do, the capabilities that are available to you, the ability to deploy and run things ad hoc anywhere you'd like. It's out there. You can use it. Ms. Tess says, remember WordPress naysayers that the web dev would die. I would, you know what? Ms. Tess, I'd be tempted to go the other way right now and say, I think WordPress is going to die. WordPress is a content management system that helps make it easier for you to build a website. If you can just ask the AI, hey, build me a website that does this, that, and the other thing with this kind of styling and get some simple design built and deployed for you in a half an hour, why do you need WordPress? If I'm WordPress, I'm afraid. It's one of the reasons that I've also kind of pulled back on SharpSite, because I've seen how easy it is to build some of the web pages, web features that I want in my applications. Do I really need to spend time learning WordPress when I can just tell the AI to go and build it? And it's static HTML that doesn't require a database, that doesn't then need processing to run those things. It can just be served statically from a server, and static websites on Azure, on the AWS, they're free. So do I really need that? Interesting discussions that we're having here and that are growing and changing. Let's see here. If you're doing your CS degree right now and you're here watching this, you're already off to a great start. I think you're right, Sam. Getting integrated and talking to the community, seeing what other experienced developers are doing, you're already integrating, networking, and learning from the wiser folks with multicolored beards. That's okay. You're already taking good steps to grow and maintain your career. Managing your career is like managing managing a cactus. It's going to start off very small, and you're going to water it not every day. You're going to water it once a week, and it's going to grow, and it's going to outgrow that pot at some point, and you're going to put it into a larger pot, and you're still going to water it once a week, maybe less frequently, once every 2 weeks, and it's going to continue to grow. Feed it, pay attention to it, watch how it grows, be ready to move it into a larger pot. That's how it's going to be managing and growing a career in tech. Sounds like Y2K would have been good for Copilot. Oh my gosh, yes. The web is the only one that has backwards compatibility. Ms. Tess, you are spot on with that one. Heck yes. Lazy Dev says, I really am disappointed in these big tech CEOs claiming you won't need to learn programming anymore. I totally agree. These folks are not only damaging the aspirations of younger developers, but they're also it's not too encouraging for the folks that work for them. So it's a double whammy. It's a double-barreled shotgun you're pointing at your foot there. Don't pull the trigger. WordPress going away is quite the hot take, and you're here for it. Try going to GitHub Spark and ask it, hey, I need a brochure website for name an organization for my kids' soccer team, for and the league that they play in, for my church, for my temple, and the community to learn more about that organization, for my local user group that I'm interested in. Generate a website for me on that. Wait do you see what it develops and gives you? Hey, I've got a couple of pictures I want you to integrate into this. Here's where you can find the pictures. They're in this folder over here. Format and place them nicely on the website to promote and show what a good time folks have as part of my organization. When do you see what Copilot generates for you in about Copilot, GitHub Spark, in about a half an hour? It's going to surprise you. The WordPress drama has absolutely been hurtful to itself. Yes. Managing your career is like dealing with a cactus. You will come across a lot of yes. So, all right. There's a handful of things that Charlie is not doing well right now, and I rewrote the map, and that's not working. It looks like the connection status dialogues, they're not working right now, and I don't know why. And I'm telling Copilot to go back and fix it, because I had a really great update to the map system here. Like, it's a really good update, and it's git undo. It's not that easy. Let's see here. I have the app running in the background with .NET Watch, so you can navigate directly to this page. And I'm going to let this work on this while we're talking a little bit more. All Did I pick up any new subscribers on YouTube with the 2 boot camps? I picked up subscribers after I complained about it, which, not the best feeling. I did script a handful of YouTube videos that I wanted to record, that I wanted to present. So I'm going to go through and record those over the next few days. Next week, I'm at VS Live in Redmond. So Tuesday, I will not be streaming at my normal time. However, I'll be back Thursday and Friday. And I'll be streaming Friday that week. So we'll be talking then. Let's see. Subscribers. So during the Aspire workshop, I got 37 subscribers. Yeah. So that's pretty good. And I see an increase of 175 subscribers over the last 2 weeks. Not bad. Not bad. I'll take it. Viewership of the Aspire Bootcamp is I don't expect to be very good, because we're still in this weird place where folks are saying, I don't know what it is, and I don't want to learn what it is. Tell me what it is in 5 words. I can't tell you what it is in 5 words, because it's a lot more than something that is actually already out there. Like, you need to actually go understand what this is and spend time looking at it. I love when Copilot is acting stupid and I tell it something and it just ignores it. Like, way to go. Surly Dev was listening to a .NET Rocks episode recently where they worried about future junior developers, and they mentioned the Imagine Cup winners who were coming at it with a different approach and not worrying about tech stacks. Yes, exactly. I think those people with a passion and a problem they want to solve will have an edge over someone who wants to do it because of the tech. Solving problems, yes, is going to win out. I agree with you on that one. Commit the prompts and not generated code in the future. I like the idea of committing markdown that explains how things were built, architecture types of things that describe how and why things were built, so that future iterations of the AI can read those and make a decision. And that helps things. So, okay. It's still running here. Yeah. Let's see. C# Titan asks, have I ever been on the VS Toolbox show? No, but Robert Greene invited me to record one next week. So there's that. So yes, we'll be doing that. Billy, that is exactly someplace that I was going. Can the AI read Git commit history? Yes. So when you run GitHub Copilot in Visual Studio Code, or the GitHub Copilot agent that runs on the website, you can tell it to look at the Git history, and there's an MCP, right, that is out there that Copilot knows how to use. It's built in. You can't get rid of it. But Copilot knows how to use it to look at commit history. I told it to look at Git commit history, and it literally rolled back a half a dozen parts of the feature here that I built and rolled out. Like, no. You did this wrong. So, yeah, it's built in. So if you go into Visual Studio Code and you click the little tool icon at the bottom of the chat window, you'll see there are built-in tools that are for the Git repository. That's kind of built in. It's in the box. Similarly, the GitHub agent, right? So the agent that runs on GitHub that you can assign tasks to, that has Playwright built into it now. So you can tell the agent, hey, go build something and take screenshots of the user interface as you're building it, and it will take screenshots, and in the pull request that it delivers, it will give you screenshots of, here's what I built. That's phenomenal to see. So definitely something that that we should appreciate, that is growing. And I did a thing yesterday. I can show you this. I can open another Visual Studio code while the first one's running. So I want to spend some time today getting back into TagzApp. And if you haven't seen TagzApp, oh, we're gonna have fun. Where'd it go? Hello, Chris Funk with the resub.
Chris Funk 21 just resubscribed for 49 months.
Thank you so much, Chris. Take another picture of that hat. Go ahead. There it goes. Where'd it go? CDev TagzApp. Yes, we're going there. That's fine. Open that folder. I did a thing with TagzApp. Where is it? Nope. 1 second, wrong folder. It's funny, if you open... there's different folders that Copilot remembers stuff about. Give me 1 second here. Yeah, there it is. Check this out. So, TagzApp's the application that we've been building off and on over the last 2.5 years to manage social media interactions, not just Twitch chat or YouTube chat, but Twitter, Mastodon, Blue Sky. And I rolled out a copy of it for a virtual event that my colleagues are running today and tomorrow called MCP Dev Days. So they're running this event where they're going to talk about building and consuming and working with MCPs. So they needed some instructions. Hey, we need to tell this group of folks how to use TagzApp. So here's what I did. Check this out. 1 second here, 1 second. This one. Okay. I went into the source code for TagzApp, right? Not the README, not that one, not that one. Yeah. I pointed it at the moderator page because I needed a user manual to teach moderators how to use the application. So I told it, start writing the document based on the use of this page and use Playwright to help navigate the application to get screenshots. Pause when you need a login to get into the app, and I'll give you my credentials. And it went along and started taking screenshots. And I made sure to tell it, hey, run it with Aspire. And it went and started up and took a screenshot and saved these off, right? And updated the documents. And it said, okay, I need you to go log in, right? Go log in and get me into the moderator page so I can take some more screenshots and work with this. So I did that. And it went and started working with it and taking more screenshots and navigating around and writing more content for the page. So if you go tagzapp.net, that website, that URL will take you right to the GitHub repository. And it wrote... I did a little hand tweaking here. I actually added a couple more comments further down here about changing some of the screenshots. hey, mention Azure Content Safety as part of this and talk about that. Add another screenshot about this. And it generated a pretty nice bit of documentation that shows how to use this app that we built live on stream. That's really cool, right? Like, I didn't have to spend time writing this. It went and took all the images. I was off doing emails and doing other planning and writing other code while it was building and generating this document. So this is available publicly. So for us as developers, documentation for a lot of folks is a pain in the neck. It's something we avoid. Point the AI at it and say, document this thing. Give me some pros. Tell me exactly what this stuff does. And it did a pretty good job, right? Here, look, you can say approved only, and it shows you only those approved messages on the moderation dashboard here, right? Provider filter buttons, here's the ones you have there. User management, it does real-time updates. Best practices suggested. Troubleshooting, system integration, it works with Azure Content Safety. Here's what it does. It analyzes text content in real time and rejects in these categories. Nice, right? And there's an area down here at the bottom where there's just a visual guide that shows, here's all the images that I took and what they do. I love being able to do this to get that first cut of a manual, of some user documentation that we can share out and will benefit folks. So, really cool stuff. Ms. Test generates a implementation plan with Klein and Claude. Go over the steps and implement it so the memory bank is mostly up to date but not fully. There you go. That's cool. That's cool. Today you learned you can have it take screenshots. Oh yeah. If you want to have VS Code take the screenshots, you need to install the Playwright MCP. And then it will navigate websites and take screenshots for you. So, yeah. When are we finally coding a Fortran 77 compiler in Roslyn? No. Fortran 77 was the first language that I learned in school. I preface by saying that because I taught myself BASIC, Visual Basic, Logo. Remember Logo back in the 80s? I taught myself Visual Basic for applications. I was a Windows guy, so I was using the free languages and resources that were available. I taught myself VB Script. I taught myself JavaScript. I taught myself HTML. Yeah, I didn't learn. I wasn't taught a language until Fortran. I wasn't taught C#. I was taught VB.net. And then I taught myself C# based on what I learned from VB.net. The company I was working for was a VB6 shop. They were using Visual Basic 6 for all of their applications back in 2002, 2003. And 2004, 2005, hey, we need to move off of this. Do we go to Java? Do we go to .NET? Decision was made to go to .NET, and they sent us out for VB.NET lessons. Okay, great. I spent a week and was taught VB.NET, and within 2 weeks of trying to use VB.NET, we decided to go to C#. So, your physics professor in college had you write incremental physics engine in C++ and Fortran instead of Standard Labs. Very cool. WordScript, the scripting language for Word before VBA. Yes. Yes. Those were old versions of Microsoft Word. Like version 2, 3, 4. I think it was like 5 and 6 that got VBA. And then it turned over after Word 7 was like Word 95, and then the various versions. Fox Pro was a thing. Yep. I'm telling Copilot to go and fix some of this stuff, and what's it doing here? Did it fix? Yeah? Did you fix that? I hope you did. You turkey. It says no changes to apply. Let me bring up and show you. I have an update to the map. So you'll notice it's a different map. It's a little bit more performant, and the connection status thing is not broken. It is broken again now. So I'll get it to look at that. Right, like it should respond to more locations, and it's going to do better grouping here. Check this out. I even have it zoom in a little bit further. So there I am in Philadelphia, and there's somebody, Roslyn? Somebody mentioned Roslyn? So, the locations will group together better. And I added extra zoom levels there, and the tour is significantly better. See, because I'm zoomed out so far, Virginia Beach kind of gets lumped together. And when I zoom in another one, now we'll see all three here on the East Coast get broken out. So, and it didn't pick up Aurora, Colorado. That's weird. So, I did a bunch of enhancements to the text messages that you can type that it will identify locations out of. But I'm looking at, see that connection status bit down there? Something didn't work there. But I'm trying to get this component ready so that we can drop it into TagzApp and have it reliably return locations when folks share, hey, you know, good afternoon, good evening from whatever location, and have it update. So, and the tour is, in my opinion, significantly better. See, yeah, so Claudio, you need to actually tell us, you know, hey, I'm watching from, good afternoon, some greeting, and indicate that you're from a location, and it will identify and place it on the map. The tour is significantly better. Check this out. Disappointment Island, New Zealand. And there's, I forget, Patty Boy mentioned Glasgow. And there's Melbourne. And then it backs out. Look at that, huh? That, I think, is much more impressive presentation of that map feature and being able to do that tour. Yeah. But there's features here that are misbehaving. Okay, it was duplicating locations here. So, I'm going to keep these changes. But, right, the location, the reconnect stuff isn't working. It's not presenting properly. So, let me go fix that. No, you go away. Yeah, here. And I'll take a screenshot so it sees it, right? Because Copilot will read screenshots. Yeah, there we go. So let me move the chat window over so you can actually see what I type and direct this to do. And getting the AI to fix some things that it broke or that are annoying to write works for me. It's a heck of a lot better than watching me fiddle around and explore and figure something out. The reconnect logic is the reconnect display is always visible. And I need to add context. Come on now. Is not styled. And yeah. And looks bad. See the attached screenshot. There's the screenshot. The application is currently running in .NET Watch mode. So you can browse and work with the... you can browse and investigate on your own. Let's see what it says. I'll bring up the map while that's working. There you go. And I have a test version of the map that I can go to that has a little bit more information here. So, Preston, Lancashire. Yep, got that. Alu the Dragon in Roslyn. Yeah, all right, fine. So, right, so we've got 2 folks in the UK now. There it goes. It breaks out. So, that will make it... Oh, lazy dev. I don't think you spelled it right because it's not coming back. Unable to find that location. Yep. So that's a structure, the bog rat, that I wanted it to be able to pick up. And I'm going to copy that, and it should now be able to do some of those things because I've enhanced the regular expressions it was using so that it now will go and pick up some of those locations. Dude, I told you it's running. The app is already running at... Right, $71.99? Yeah. You jerk, you broke it. No, stop it! Stop trying to kill .NET. I have it running already for you. I'm pausing you for right now while it builds. There it goes. No. There. It picked up Crete. And because it was restarting, it didn't... Right, if I open that up, we'll see a little bit more there. So... Yeah, it is very much like a junior developer. Like, I told it 3 times, stop. It's already running, and it decided to just go off and do its own thing. Like... So, you got an 8 out of 28. JSDate.WTF. How well do you know JavaScript's date class? Oh, no. All right, let's do that on stream here. I'm game for that. Oh, boy. What are you changing? It's the same thing. You literally did the exact same thing. Like, you didn't write any interesting code there. You did the same thing. No. I'm even going to restart it. Force a restart. No. And I'll even do a recompile. I have the console here on another screen. So I'll force it to rebuild. A complete rebuild. Like, Charlie, you're being a moron. Not Charlie, Copilot. No. No, that did nothing. Like, I'm annoyed and I'm angry because it did something to break the application. I didn't catch it in the git merge, and now it's being difficult fixing it. Why is my scroll? There we go. Okay. That looks better. Wow. Well. Yes, that looks like what I had before. You find sometimes using Copilot is like walking a cat? Yes. Yes. You just learned that if you pass a folder to Copilot, it only gets the contents from the top level directory. Any subdirectories, it only gets the name, not the file contents. I believe it. I believe it. All right, so let me go back to there. That looks better. My scroll is awful. All right. So if I zoom out, yeah, we get to see everybody. So there's also, I added a window to this where if there are thousands of pins, it only renders and includes the pins that are visible on the map. So that significantly helps. A VS Code extension idea is auto commit before each prompt. You can tell Copilot to commit. You can put that in and it will commit. So I think that is fixed. I think. So, all right. Let me show you the where is it? Chatter map feature. Here we go. Look at this. Remember I was showing you the regular expressions that it would use? to detect that you're telling it a location. Oh, I've got some more now. Hello from or the cafe, restaurant, store, shop, hotel, bar, office, and then in and some location. Yeah, got that. The original prior patterns, new location patterns with better word boundaries. Currently living, residing, based, origin, born patterns. So I had Copilot generate a bunch more of these. I was like, here's a bunch of different ways that folks phrase how they announce their location. Go pick them up. And it went and gave me all of these. And I had it write a series of tests for each one of those. Where do you see this? Is it in here? Yeah. Yeah, this is the one, I think. So I had it run a whole bunch of different patterns. So it supports all of these ways that you can describe your location, right? So, right, I'm from New York. I am from Los Angeles, California, from Chicago. Hello from Seattle. Right, these are the typical from ones. Hello from a cafe in St. Louis. Hello from the hotel in Las Vegas. I'm at a store in Denver. Residing in Philadelphia, now living in Orlando. Originally from, born in, grew up, came from Pittsburgh. It's got those. Right? Now when folks were saying in some of the boot camps, hey, Columbus watching or Chicago reporting in, that type of thing. Got you on those. Weather patterns, travel patterns. I wasn't thrilled with this one, but I'll live with it. My time zone is, and we just grab whatever appropriate. Casual mentions here in Canada, we in Texas. Those are fine. Lower priority, though. Multi-word locations, yeah, we got those too. This shouldn't be that much of a difference with international, outside of the states locations. Yep. Edge cases with punctuation. And I thought, yeah. And important about this was that it picked up on the non-ASCII characters. Invalid locations, yep, runs through and does all those tests also. So I know that it's going to pick up and report your locations much better than those initial sets of locations over there. So, can we use the AI to extract the location from a human written text into a JSON doc? Yes. However, calling that AI each time is going to start to run into costs. You're going to start to see token pressure on that. You could run something like AI Foundry locally. Ollama, you could run locally and have it do that work. It's going to take more processing power to have the AI do that, or generate a whole bunch of regex that you can go through and test. Because here's the thing. Regex will always beat the AI at detecting and pulling that location. Let me show you. Inside my tests here, I'm actually seeding locations at this point. I'll show you that in a second here. Up here. Yeah, here we go. Extracting the location names, right? Just those tests. Look at this. Returns the expected location, right? So just running those tests against the regular expression, it's going to do the build, and then it's going to come back in a second here. And you're going to see that it does. Oh, it's running, and it's not going to do the test because it's running. Yeah, and you're not going to stop either. It comes back in like 9/10 of a second on 100 messages. Yeah. Here, let me show you on one of the most recent action runs. Yeah. Down here. Yeah, there we go. Test results. Look at that. 333 passes through 2 seconds. 2 seconds. Like, that's pretty darn good. Now, why is it saying that it's failing test again? 4 tests failed. Of course, there are 4 tests that failed. Interestingly, it doesn't show. No, oh. It doesn't show me exactly why they failed. Run once, but was run 0 times. Wasn't run. I'm not concerned about those, but I will have to come back and analyze and figure it out. So let me close that, and I'm going to go pivot and find one of the next issues. Nova Troop, I'm always here when you're always there. You, me, are always there when you have an interview the next day for public service. Oh, Nova Troop, good luck. Yeah, it's your first public sector interview. Oh boy. Okay. Take it easy. You're going to do great. You know how to do an interview. The fact that it's this industry or that industry, so what? No big deal. You've got this. You know how to do interviews, Nova Troop. You can handle this, all right? You know your stuff. Answer as truthfully as possible about your experiences, about the things that you've worked on, about the various insights that you have. Don't knock the public sector at all. Make sure you don't do that. Don't say anything. Don't get into anything that could be construed as political or have preference for one thing or another. Okay, you're gonna do great. You're gonna have all the best to you tomorrow. Okay. Oh. Okay. So let me go back over here. So I do have some random, right there. If we go in on Europe, there's Crete down there. Cool. That's working. So, C# Titan asks, is it possible to profile an app using VS Code? No. Profilers are a professional tool in the IDE, in Visual Studio. So, the test map isn't adding to the recent locations. That doesn't get updated here. Oh! That crashed. I got a threading. There you go. So that's why when I scroll across here, you don't see some of those locations, right? It's doing this windowing. So when I scroll across, it's not showing you the pins in the States, Europe, or South America until I let go and it recognizes, oh, I need to paint that. So then when I zoom in on the States, right, now it breaks out and shows me a little bit more. So, and over to Europe. Ooh, okay. I'm getting a threading error on the map right now. So right now, no locations are going to load. Current thread is not associated with the dispatcher. Use invoke async to switch execution. This is on my chatter map, line 629. I can fix that. I'm chatter map. So I called it chatter map direct because I'm directly using the JavaScript. Oh, I need the chatter map direct. I need the C#. And yeah, there's 600 some lines of code here. It's ridiculous. Right here. Yep. Invoke async. State has changed. And actually, right? Yup. We can await that. That's fine. And let's go fire that back up again. Oh, it already restarted on its own. Yes. Come on now. It needs to restart because we lost. Yeah. That looks good. That looks good. There we go. All right, Billy in the Indian Ocean. Really? You're gonna throw a pin out there? All right, be my guest. This is like a geocaching thing you're building today. Kind of, Nova Troop. A common pattern that we see in our streams is folks say introducing and sharing their location. So we thought it'd be fun to build a map to share some of that so you can see, hey, look, there's people in my part of the world, right? So, you found sometimes Blazor can be a pain with threads. It's the way that Blazor uses threads kind of makes sense. Like, I get it. It doesn't upset me. What frustrates me is it should, well, it wouldn't have caught that threading issue there because it didn't know it was on a different thread. But I feel like invoke async state has changed is the pattern that we should all always use. So, is that the best way to think about it? Because we're updating the UI we're updating the page outside of the regular flow. Somebody clicking on something and whatnot, or interacting with a component on the page, it is a little bit better. Can we get a boat icon if we're on a body of water? I'm trying to fix Bograt. I tried to fix continent identification. Let me show you what I'm talking about. I'll go back over to this version of the map, reload it, right? So there's all of our locations. And if I tell it to start the tour, right? So we've got one person in this zoomed in location, one person in this location. All right, I get that. And Eastern North America region. Okay, I'm all right with that. Melbourne, Australia. Okay. Western Europe region. See, yeah, that's right. It's not wrong. Indian Ocean. One viewer in the Indian Ocean. Wonder who that is. Billy. Crete, Greece. I also need to put the capitalization back on it. What it was doing is it would go zoom in on the states and it would say Central North America, even though it was like in the Pacific coast. So, I do have thoughts about making other pin images available or to grab profile pictures and use those as some of these, but I have concerns about using profile pictures like that. So, yeah, the tour is a bit shiny now. This is not Twitch API at all. So, and it is not Google embedded. This is Leaflet.js. So, The tiles are bugging me also. You can see the edges of the tiles. So so I think we've got it back working properly. And dashboard, yeah, there we go. Reload that. Yeah, good. I can close some of these out. I thought I... let's see. You had an interview 4 years ago with NHS? All right, all right. I'm going to bring the dashboard down here, and... No, I should have gone the other way. So, my dashboard we'll put down here. But the Charlie quotes should work. No. It's going to be one of those. Right? And it's not reading it. Yeah. One more here. And Borer? I didn't spell it right. No? What are you doing? No, it's not reading it out loud. Yeah, look at that. I'm yelling at it. It's in the text to voice is in my overlay, and you're gonna see these when I share them. It's not quite ready yet. Text to speech feature, yeah, it's up. I don't remember where it is. Go find out. The text to speech is not reading anything right now. Investigate. So, the quotes it should read and be kind of ominous about them. I'm wondering if it still has... Go figure it out. I don't know. Yeah, it should be included because it's referenced 15 places. So there are two methods in here. Should speak message, where it's going to decide if it should say something. Process text for speech. It sets up the text. And then actually, hey, go do this. Go say this. Yeah, overlay razor. It should be on the page. And while we're looking for that, let me take this question from C# Titan. Now, see, why didn't... Yeah, you can't build. The app is already running with .NET Run with .NET Watch in another window. Let me go to this. How does the .NET engineering team handle dealing with the removal of redundant or deprecated code from the framework? How do they test to ensure functionality still works in existing systems? There are massive numbers of tests that are out there that exercise various features. And you can see the tests out there in the .NET GitHub. At github.com/.net. You can see all the tests that are out there that are running. And they run. They used to take hours to run. They've refactored them down now, so they run in parallel. They run focused sets of tests, and they run in like 5 minutes now. What the team will avoid, like bend over backwards trying to avoid removing an older feature. This is a tenet of not just .NET, but of most Microsoft products, that they do not remove features. They'll mark things as obsolete. They'll and give you a very long time to move off of that feature, like 4 or 5 years, because of the support cycle. So there is a significant discussion that happens when redundant code is suggested to be removed. Not redundant code is the wrong answer, is the wrong thing that I'm referencing here. Redundant APIs, right? Or an improved API is being deployed and an older version is being deprecated. They will prefer not to remove the old API, but instead issue documentation that says, this is out here for backward compatibility, but we recommend you don't use this and you use another feature. And they'll issue Roslyn analyzers that when they detect you using the older feature, recommend using the new feature. That's out there. So, and you'll see that around things like threading, right? If you start up threads, it'll recommend you use tasks. So, good question, and it is not an easy thing to address. What the heck are you doing? Go ahead, take a picture. There it is. Right? If it knows it, it should read it, and it should come back. 95%, right. But it's not reading for some reason. So I don't know. Or, oh! Wait a sec. I have an idea on this. Okay, let's try this now.
Remember the promise of cake motivates test subjects. Unlike your code which motivates only despair and exception handlers.
Ouch. Thanks, Charlie. I think this isn't working because Chrome isn't doing text to speech. So, yeah, there we go. New Brunswick. Yeah, we got you on there. Yes, the team will bend over backward to avoid removing a feature. Yep. And that is one of many reasons why enterprises prefer Microsoft products, because the team does not quickly remove and deprecate features. They'll add more features and document and say, don't use this other one. It's still out there, but we recommend not using it and taking a long time to deprecate. So, and now we'll try the tour. You had a question regarding Angular 20, if I have experience with it. No, I do not have experience. I used Angular way back in 1, 2, 3, 4 days. Like, I stopped on Angular 4. Have I had any issues unit testing without a browser? Previously used Mocha Chai, and it was all terminal tests. I think that I don't have experience with that version of Angular. However, I would suggest you've got two different types of tests that you want to run, right? There's the unit test that Mocha and Chai are going to help you with and do a good job with that. Karma and Jasmine are unit testing frameworks that will do some of those things, and it's not bad. They're not bad. Jasmine's been around for a long time and does a nice job with setting up JavaScript unit tests. I think when you start thinking about user interface testing and actually interacting with Angular user interfaces and testing the logic is actually working between your components, that's when I would bust open Playwright and use Playwright, because that actually orchestrates and runs a test. So, and Playwright works with JavaScript, with TypeScript, with Python, with Java, with .NET. Really great stuff. The Bograt asks, why did I stop with Angular 4? The overwhelming volume of JavaScript frameworks that came out and at that point, right? And we were very much, and we still are, at the in vogue JavaScript framework each year. Like, we went from Knockout to Angular to React to Vue to Svelte, back to React, back to Angular, back to React. Like, these frameworks all do the same thing. One's owned by Google, one's owned by Facebook, and quite frankly, they don't care how you use their frameworks. They're building it for their tools, for their applications. They're not a developer-focused organization, so they don't care about backwards compatibility and supporting you. They're building their website. They're building Google. They're building Google Analytics. They're building Gmail. They don't care that you're using it for your inventory management system inside your organization. Doesn't matter to them. So they don't care about backwards compatibility, and they're going to break you like a twig. And they do. They do. And there was a point where Facebook was even threatening to file copyright claims against folks. Like, sorry. So, right, and look at Dart. Dart was not going to be used at all. Then Flutter came out and, oh, everybody go use Dart again. But Dart is a flavor of JavaScript that's evolved, and okay, and Flutter disappeared. Right? Flutter's gone. Who's using Flutter now? Nobody talks about it. Because Google has a culture of accomplishments. Build, develop a product, publish that product, you get rewarded for that accomplishment. If you want to get rewarded again, you're not going to get rewarded for maintaining that product and that accomplishment. So they go off to build something else. Well, that framework, that tool, that thing that other folks depend on now, the people who invented it, who built it, aren't working on it anymore because they're not going to get rewarded for working on it anymore. So they don't. So it's this culture of accomplishments. They don't care. They don't. And in the Google culture, that's okay. Because they'll shut things down just as quickly. There was a huge splash about Google Wave. Gone. The Google RSS reader. Folks were using that for a long time, but you know what? The vice president that launched it and the engineers that were really proud of it, they got rewarded and they left. They went to work on a different product. And nobody picked up to manage that. Gone. They went and bought FeedBurner. Gone. Because nobody would, hey, great, you acquired that. Now we can do all these things that feed into our RSS app. And those folks were rewarded and they went off to something else. Because in order for them to get the next promotion, the next bonus, they have to build something. That's the culture at Google. There is no reward for maintaining something, for cutting costs on something. That doesn't exist at Google. Build something new. Google is always expanding. That's their culture. So, yeah. There we go. There we go. Barcelona. We got Barcelona in there. Now if I do the tour, right? Watch what it does when it gets to Europe. I have a feeling, right? And it's recalculating these locations. All right, Eastern North America region, there you go. Even though you can still see the Texas in there. So, there you go. The Indian Ocean. Yeah, that's one. There you go. Western Europe region and Crete. Is it going to give me Barcelona all by itself? Nope. So there you go. So, all right. I think we're okay there for a little bit. Yeah. I'm not going to work on the voice recognition for now. All right. 297 items in the killed by Google.com list. Yeah. Yeah. No, that's definitely a thing. All right, let me keep these because that's working. What? Some additional logging. Additional logging. I think. Yeah, I'm gonna roll these back. Push that. Close this. You've heard Meta has the same culture as Google. It's not quite the same, but there's definitely a similar culture there. I haven't talked to former colleagues at Facebook in a while. So, let me head over here. You feel there's more bias in places like the big companies, Microsoft, Canonical, Google, Meta. Canonical? It's funny because Canonical cares about academics, but most companies are started by people who dropped out of school. There's an interesting problem that exists with supporting academics from these large companies. And it comes back to that same reward scenario. Folks will sponsor and put money into, hey, we're going to support and get our products into the schools. Great. Or into colleges and universities. And it costs a certain amount of dollars, and the organization, the admins, right, who set that up, went out and built those features, those capabilities for working with those universities and schools, they get rewarded. Okay, you've set up a pipeline for us to grow our customer base. Now what? Well, it costs money each year to support and continue to grow that. And there's no return on investment, because investing in education is a long-term play, right? It's the long game. If you're putting money into putting Chromebooks in elementary schools so that first graders through fifth graders are learning and using Chromebooks, those kids aren't buying computers for another 20 years. That's a 20-year investment you're making. Is it worth it? Apple would suggest yes, because look at how they've grown their Mac market from investing in putting Macs in schools and making it more accessible to teachers. Apple, though, has also done things to create that walled garden so that you don't have access to anything on the Apple ecosystem from outside the Apple ecosystem. So is there bias? There's bias everywhere for everything. There just is. The question needs to be, how do we break through that bias? The savvy, and this is where Fritz is bad at managing his career. The savvy, aggressive folks in tech do not manage and grow brownfield applications. If you're managing and growing an existing application and you're working on that for more than 6 months, you aren't helping your career. If you aren't releasing a new version, if you aren't building and delivering significant new value to it, and cutting costs on it, so that you create a profit center out of the cost center that is managing an application, you are not helping your career. And I'm terrible at that. Because I have a vested interest in you. I have a vested interest in seeing developers, customers, technologists do more. So I don't invest time in building, growing new product. I'm working on Aspire because it helps you do more with your existing applications. I got into Blazor because it helps you do more with building the web front end for your applications instead of chasing the JavaScript framework du jour. So that's where I've invested my time. I didn't jump on the artificial intelligence bandwagon. I didn't and work on that as a product, right? So I'm not building new Visual Studio Code extensions and things like that for my job. I'm invested in existing customers and sales and growth and technologists. So McNet's with the question, hey, what's that metal piece right over here? It's a bottle cap and bottle opener, right? And that's what's so unique. This is the only hat that I have that has this. It has a bottle opener built into the brim there, so that when you're out at a picnic, at a barbecue, you're hanging out on the beach with friends, you can use this to crack open a bottle. Oh my gosh, Anna! Hello there, Anna, with the big raid. 23 viewers joining us. Welcome in, Raiders on Twitch. How you doing there? My name is Jeff Fritz, and I'm wearing a hat that represents Puerto Rico. And it has a bottle opener right there. Yeah, you got to take your hat off. That's right. Welcome in. How you doing? Ms. Tess making the loop, coming back. Thank you so much for the raid, Anna. What were you working on over there on your channel? You've been doing a number of cool little web projects, helping writers and stuff there. Yeah. Oh, thank you. Thank you. That is very kind. Yeah, I like to spread the love and raid to some of our other streamer friends out there. So already open, so you had me double. Wow. Wow. Very cool. Welcome in, Raiders. I was tinkering with the chat bot that runs and manages this chat because I've completely updated the map features that are in the Charlie chatbot. So if you interact and share some information about where you are, it will. I've got a message over here I need to address. If you share a location, it'll plot it on the map, and we'll be able to see. And you can share in text as much or as little information about your location. So, you're learning Maui with Blazor Hybrid, implementing your own component library. Nice. One second here. Let's see here. So you can make a desktop out of your writer's application so people can have more control over their own content if they don't want to upload their data to a server. There we go, Anna. And this is actually something that I want to do with TagzApp so that other streamers, other folks can run TagzApp locally as an application and let it manage, connect out, and interact with their various online services that they're interested in using. So, do not make your own Blazor component library. No, Anna. This is exactly something that I was interested in doing here to bridge over my map feature from Charlie into TagzApp. Blazor component libraries, they sound hard. They're actually a lot easier to build than they used to be. So, yeah, so the map's out there, and we'll go back to it and share some of the information that's on it and have some fun with that throughout the stream. I'm keeping an eye on what's going on over here. Let's see, what do we got? All right. They aren't that hard, but if you're new to web dev, it's a pain and a lot of growing pains. I might have a video or two about it. But we're going to move the map widget into TagzApp. That's coming. I don't want to do it necessarily. I've got some other things I want to address in TagzApp first, like installation, configuration. Oh man, is that a mess? But we'll get that up and running. Let me see here. Okay. Cool. Fantastic. So there is an event going on. MCP Dev Days is out there going on right now over on the Microsoft developer channels. So, yeah, there's just a couple interesting things there. 1 second here. Let me see. I have a colleague that's having an issue with TagzApp that I need to help out here. Ba, ba, ba. Let's see. I made a mistake. I've always promoted TagzApp as an application that you should log into with a third-party service, your Microsoft account, your Google account, your GitHub account, what have you. I didn't take away that capability when I deployed TagzApp this last time. And folks are getting confused about which account they're using to log in. And as I'm sure you can guess, that's a little bit frustrating for people. So, taking a quick look and see what I can do to help. And there we go. All right, I see what's going on here. I see. Person didn't confirm an email address. So I'm going to do a database update here live on stream. Right? And it's weird because I'm bouncing back and forth between you know what? I'm just going to update that across the board and say everybody's email's confirmed. All right, here we go. Live DB updates are the best? Yeah. Right? Not at all scary. Okay. So, I'm just making sure that my colleague is able to log in now. And then I'll move on. Looks like they stepped away. Okay. Then I will continue over here. What? The storage space that I rent just sent me a message. We're doubling your rent. Like, excuse me? Excuse me. Yeah, we're gonna deal with that a little bit later. Like, are you kidding? Wow. Wow. That takes guts to come down and say, hey, yeah, doubling rent exactly starting for September. Like, August is the last one at the current rate. Like, what? Are you kidding? And let me look at this one. Always a treat. Wow. Copilot helping with generating some SQL statements. That's kind of cool. I wasn't expecting that. Yep, there we go. One second here. There we go. All right, you're gonna go get some dinner. Have a good one. But if the storage rent is currently $1 a month and doubling, then not so big a deal. Well, it's not. No. The storage rent was $60 a month, and I thought, man, that's a bargain. And we got to about 6 months now, and oh, sorry, we're doubling your rent. So that's a little frustrating. I'm going to let Mrs. C Sharp Fritz know. Yeah, I'm just a little distracted today. Dear Lord, enough stuff going on. Oh, gosh. And yeah, should be good. Cool. Yep, folks are off and running on TagzApp on that other instance. Nice. All right. I will back out of that screen and just keep an eye open over here. All right, here we go. Perhaps I was on a 6-month introductory deal. No, I wasn't. No. I wish. Free app now has ads and watermarks. Prism, the mobile streaming app, went subscription model today. That's annoying. That's annoying. I get why they do it, but yeah, that's annoying. All right, I am going to move all of these features. Yep. Off screen here, and I want to dive back in and talk about TagzApp because it's been a while and there is some fun stuff there for us to get back into. Yeah, I'm gonna park this and we're gonna go over here, change projects. Yeah, yes. All right. So I created that moderator user manual. I can show you a couple of things that I've addressed over the past past week or so that we can dig into here and move forward on. Twitch config storage, there was a whole thing going on here where we have different providers. Providers have both an ID and a configuration section ID. I shouldn't have both. And it was confused. There were places where it was storing configuration with one ID and reading with the other ID. I had to go in and repair that. The blue sky icon wasn't working on dark and light mode. So if you were in light mode, it was a white bird icon. You couldn't see it on screen. So I had to fix that so it popped up in black. But then I also had to fix dark mode so that it properly detected dark mode and made it white again. So I had to put the CSS detection in there, and that works. The Markdown editor on the admin customization page, man, this was a pain in the neck. There's a Markdown editor that gets loaded inside the configuration of this application, and it is heavy on the JavaScript. I wanted to make sure that we were in after render state so that the JavaScript is loaded so that you could then put the Markdown editor on page. So I had to do a little bit of catch, right? A little bit of testing here. Say, hey, make sure that we are rendered on screen before you put the Markdown editor in to be displayed. That state has changed. Shouldn't be needed there, but it works. I'm keeping an eye open over here. Yeah, I'm not seeing. So I made those changes. The modal layout. So when you open TagzApp and you go to a message, it was just weird shaped message on screen. Fix that one too. So that it's now a more appropriate shape on screen. So if we go over here, right? So here's TagzApp, and TagzApp is starting to be configured to work with Aspire, and man, there's work to be done to get it more Aspirified. What am I missing? What are the two there? We're good with that. That's fine for now. So let me start this one. And this will start tracking messages on Twitch and YouTube that will appear on the TagzApp panels. This is the exact same tech that I use for Charlie to show the lower thirds over here. It's the exact same stuff. So I've just made it look better. So, yeah, look at all those warnings. Clearing up these warnings is something that, in my opinion, is so much easier to do now by handing things off to Copilot. Go fix that. I don't know what that is. I don't care what that is. Go fix that. So this is a locally running version of TagzApp. It still says .NET Conf in the corner, but I'm going to click through and join. And if I look at moderation, we will see, well, we won't see any messages from you out there because we haven't had any messages for a couple minutes. So as your messages come through here, they will appear on screen. So now, go ahead, they'll show up. So, right, I have this on that Twitch channel. Providers. Yep, it's on my channel. There we go. So, your messages will appear. You don't need hashtag.net. It's searching Mastodon and Blue Sky and bringing in messages from out there. Oh, and it's on the wrong YouTube event. Stay over there, back into here. YouTube chat. Yeah, it's on the wrong channel. And it says disabled. Like, that says it's not enabled. So why is it running? That's one problem that I have, is the enabled disabled state of the providers doesn't work right. So that I need to address here. So we'll get in and look at that. The waterfall view, right? So some messages there, right? I'll put through this message from our buddy Rob Richardson. It appears, and when I click on it, and I loaded up the branding for the other event. Not bad. It's a little wide, but there's no carriage returns in his message, so it goes as wide as it feels like. But if you go with a message up here, it goes right up to the edges of the window. And I'm actually zoomed in, so let me zoom out. Right? It keeps it at a decent size here and makes it narrower based on the width of that image. So some of these other bigger messages it does a pretty good job with. So I'm all right with that. I like that. And I'm right, there's a shorter message here, like, here, Thindall wrote this one-line message. Like, do I really need it to be that wide? No, I set a minimum width on it, and it still makes it that wide. I'm okay with that for now. We can... That's small potatoes compared to some of the other things that I want to address in here. So, hey, Pyrocat, hello! So... that enabled state is one of the ones that really gets me. It really annoys me. And I want to have that immediately reflect, right? So when you make a change and you update, it should immediately appear. Just post a message on Mastodon and it's there. You did. Yep, there it is. There you go, right there. Right? Yeah, I approve. I don't see it. Yeah, there it is. Oh, because I had it paused. That's what it was. So, yep. So this loads and updates automatically, live as we're going through. And yes, this is SignalR, and I do use SignalR in Charlie to update and show some of the things over there, right? So...
I ignored my destiny once.
That's SignalR.
Cannot do that again. Even for you at Sharp Fritz, I'm sorry.
So there's definitely things here that we're going to do. We're going to zoom in on. We're going to try to address. I've gotten a bit of help from Copilot to analyze and repair some of these things, and I've been very happy with what Copilot's been able to do. So I'm going to dive in and do some of those things. So first thing I want to do, right, here it is running. Let's check out a working branch. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's call this July cleanup. I don't know. I could text to speech messages on TagzApp. Yes. Yes. We'll figure that out. Oh, yeah, I forgot my dash B. Create that branch. Thank you. There's definitely things that could be done there. I want to hide, right? Stream elements, Charlie. There's other things here that, and I believe I can do that with my user ban capabilities. So, all right. Cool. They're off and running. Fantastic. That's what I wanted to see. Hang on. There's a possibility I'll be doing a night stream today. Okay. So how long is this session? Oh, that's messages from. That's messages coming in from. Coming in from that YouTube session that I don't want to be connected to. So I changed it and I saved it as disabled, but I have to restart in order to force it. Where'd it go? Over here. Right, and if I look at the providers, yeah, see, it still says YouTube is connected. No. And I need to restart again because it doesn't handle the yeah, see, it still says it's started and running. I just did turn it off and turn it back on again. Yeah. So I want to address that enabled capability, and this is perfect to address right now, right? So, and the source to TagzApp, go to tagzapp.net, and you can get to the GitHub source for this application. I don't really have a website for it, so maybe that's something we can look into. So let's do this. It is in the. Actually, I can look in the database for this, can't I? Right over here, and like I can force it to be disabled. It saves a JSON block, so I'd have to do a little bit of editing, right? Oh, I'm sure some of you are like, what the heck is Fritz talking about? Yeah, we'll get back into this, and you'll start to remember some of this. Nuh-uh. There it is, YouTube chat. So the configuration of YouTube chat is down here. I will copy that, and let's just paste it right in here. So it's some serialized JSON. It is disabled. And it does have a live chat ID. Yeah, so first things first. We got to stop that John from running. So each one of the providers, each one of the social media providers is here inside of a provider's project that gets referenced and loaded up by the main TagzApp project. And that's YouTube. We want YouTube chat. The provider here, right? And then down here somewhere, when it goes to get content, it shouldn't actually call this. There's configuring Google. It shouldn't. Don't even get the Google stuff if we're not enabled. Right? Yeah. Take a peek in. Now, here's the thing with TagzApp that we're going to need to address. When .NET Watch is running, every update it crashes. YouTube costs money? No. Twitter costs money. Let's see what we get. So that's restarting. Right? Yeah. Go take a look at over here, system admin. There we go. Now it's shut off. Cool. And yes, that is my API key, and it's only a small portion of it. I don't mind you seeing just that portion. Let's see here. All right, cool. Now, the other side of this is if I flip that enabled bit, yeah, thanks. I want to start and stop it. I did figure out the issue with the YouTube messages, McNets. Yeah. That's all updated and you can find in the source code. The gist of it was I had to request an API extension and they replied and granted me that extension so that I can request many more. There are, where is it? When it goes to get content, I specify the profile image size, the maximum number of results, and this does work properly now with that extended API that they gave me. So that's the one thing is, if you're going to run a stream for more than an hour or two, you need to get the extended API. You need to get them to allow you to hit the API more frequently. So what I want to figure out is from our user interface up here, there it is, YouTube chat. So when that's enabled or disabled, right? So that's where it's painting it on the screen. Here, save the configuration. So here, the provider calls save configuration. So inside the YouTube chat provider, there is a save configuration. There it is. So in my mind, what are you doing? Like, after you save it to the database here, update the provider so that it's using that new configuration. And if the enabled state changed, either start or stop appropriately, right? There's a couple things there that I think we can kick off real easily. So, yeah, set the configuration, set the enabled state, and if the enabled state changes, call start or stop appropriately. Like, where's stop? Stop async is somewhere down here. I don't see it. Right? Stop. There it is. It just calls task completed task. If we're telling it to stop, what's the difference between stop and start? Right? What does start do? Sets up and configures the Google service. Have I added Aspire to TagzApp? Yes. But I think there's more for us to do there. There we go. Okay. So it is out there, and quite frankly, I think it would be compelling to have an Aspire managed fake service that we can test with. Like, it randomly generates a message every 5 seconds, or however long you tell it, randomly generate a message that goes into TagzApp, that goes on, that you can then test with and grow with. So, you can run it locally, but configuration is still a monster to do, and that's something that we're going to address. So start if it isn't enabled. Yeah, I don't want to just do enabled, but I want to have like a run state out here. Oops. Right, so if I put like protected bool yeah. Is this provider running? Right? And in start, did I just go right past it? Nope. There it is. My fingers are not in home keys properly. If there is one, return it. I think that's fine. And down here where stop was, right? so I'm stopping it. But where I do the get messages, there's also a health check in here, up in here, right? Return enumerable empty. Cool. Well, that's easy. So when I do the save down here, right, there's the save. Excuse me. Let's say var. There's 3 states that we could be in: no change, start the app, stop the app, start the provider, stop the provider. So that could be a nullable Boolean, because that'll give me 3 states. Right? So I could say if enabled equals provider configuration enabled, then null, and that's okay. Otherwise, if the new value is, well, I can just say otherwise provider configuration dot enabled, right? Here's the new state, and if there is no change, isn't there a quantum Boolean? I'm not dealing with quantum. So then I'll set YouTube chat configuration, provider configuration. That's a read-only, isn't that? Not anymore. No, down here. So I just reset that. And now I can say if run state change. How do I want to do this? If run state change is not null, and run state change, so I'm setting it to true. Yeah. Run it and forget it. What don't you like there? Run state change value. Otherwise, run state change is not null, and not run state change value. Cool. What don't you like there? No, not parentheses can be removed. What are you talking about? So that should start or stop it. Now there's a health check in here somewhere. Those are exceptions. Yeah, get health. There it is right there. So when we call stop, I'm going to not just set that, but status equals yeah, disabled. Not running. Yeah, there we go. So that should work. Oh, I forgot the if. Thank you. My bad. Thank you, Patty Boy. So that should... It's not going to. Yep, it dumped. But that should allow me to start and stop that. All right. And I'll want to roll out that same feature to the other providers. There's that. Come on. Come on now. There it is. So not started, and it's not started because it's disabled. Fantastic. Cool. So we're getting there. I don't want to roll this out myself to the other providers. I'm going to ask Copilot to do it. Like, I figured it out. Please roll out this run state change and configuration persistence to the save configuration methods on the other providers in the solution. Let's see what it does. Have a good one, Patty Boy. Yeah, see you next time. Thanks so much. I am going to have to stop in the next 15-20 minutes because I have a .NET Conf meeting at 12:30. So at the 30-minute mark coming up. Here we go. Yep, looking at Twitch chat, looking at Twitter. Yep. So it's analyzing and figuring out where do we need to roll this out in the other projects. Nice. Right? We're going to need to create a Copilot instructions file for TagzApp. I've got some ideas for one. Right? So I have GitHub workflows, so I need to put a Copilot instructions file up in there too. So yeah, there is an enabled property on there. It's part of the provider. Yes. So I understand. Yeah, you go figure that out. I understand that I can open this as another editor. And I can run 2 Copilots now. Let's generate a Copilot instructions file for this large Blazor and .NET Aspire application. Recommend using .NET standards. And we'll add follow-up instructions about the social media provider models. Yeah. So now I've got Copilot doing two things. Because one's not good enough. Like, I want to do more than one thing, and I don't want to do that thing. Go generate all this junk, and we'll come back to it. So it says it went through, and the YouTube provider, Twitter provider, what did it add? There we go. And it's deciding whether to start and stop there. We do also need to add here in stop that it's setting the run state, and we're going to need to roll that out as well. That's fine. We'll get there. Twitch chat, run state change. And as it's saving, this one actually came the closest to getting it running. That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. What else we got? Mastodon. Yep. Triggering whether to start or stop, and we'll need to go actually implement something for those. Blue Sky. What did we change on Blue Sky? Already had some run state change logic. Yeah, very similar. But this just simplifies a bit. Blaze Audit wrote brand new. Azure Q has a stop async method, so yeah. Cool, that works. Yep, MCP dev days are going on. And folks are on YouTube for that event, and it's all hello from my location, and there are tons of their messages. the chat map would pick that up really well. Cool. All right. Now we need to revisit each of these providers. And we should be on the YouTube chat provider. Hey, look, we got Copilot instructions. Nice. We'll look at that in a minute. Where'd the YouTube chat provider go? I don't see it. YouTube chat provider, right? Here. No. Dictate it. Hello? Why isn't Windows H working? No. Did they remove it? You're going to activate voice access. An improved voice access? I'll be the judge of that. we need to roll out to all of the social media providers the capability to set and manage an internal field called run state, just like it's defined here inside the YouTube chat provider. Not bad. Okay. It's working much better. The start and stop actions. No, methods. No. The start and stop methods inside of each of the providers needs to be configured so that it activates the run state for its provider, period. Additionally, the run state needs to be checked at the beginning of any get content method and stop processing if the run state is false. Let's see what it does. Here we go. All right. What do we got? Adding mapstick, good. While it's doing that, let me look at the Copilot instructions. And we'll come back and read what it finished. Built with .NET 9, Blazor, and .NET Aspire, collects and displays social media. I didn't want you to write in there. So here we go. TagzApp, comprehensive social media aggregation platform built on .NET 9, Blazor, and .NET Aspire. Blah, 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 blah. Framework, UI framework, orchestration, package management, data storage, real-time communication, containerization. It's supposed to be able to do Docker, but man, it's not there. Right now, TagzApp writes a lot of configuration to disk, and I ran into this issue deploying to Azure, and I completely forgot about it. You can't write to disk when you're deploying a container. You don't have access to write to disk. You need to mount a volume and be able to access and read and write to that volume. That didn't work for the way that TagzApp is currently configured, so we're going to need to address that. Coding standards and conventions. Follow Microsoft.NET coding conventions, naming standards. That's fine. File organization. Yeah, good. Naming conventions, classes, interfaces, methods, properties. Private fields. Sure. Constants. Screaming snake case. Nice. Let's see. Core domain models. Yeah, that's fine. Social media provider pattern. Yeah, there we go. Implementation guidelines. Always update status and status message fields for health monitoring. Rate limiting. Respect API rate limits. Yup. Blazor component guidelines. Data access pattern, entity framework, caching strategy. This I could see us moving to Redis. This we're going to need to move. Yep. Moderation system, unit tests, integration tests. We'll figure that out later. Security considerations. Dun, 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 dun. How to add new providers. Debugging. Looks good, looks good. Emote processing. Yes. All right. I think that's fine. That's a good start. Nope. Don't need to do any of that. That's fine. We've got a decent Copilot instructions to get us started. And it's making its way around to the various providers. Here on Blue Sky, it added a run state. And down here, get content for hashtag. If not run state, return empty. Start sets run state to true. But we should probably do that after we do the enabled check. Know what I mean? Like, yes, it's enabled. Now go. And there should be a check on... Right, somewhere down here. Where's stop? There it is. Stop. Run state false. And stop all the things. Good. That looks good. Mastodon. Run state. Yes. Oh, dear Lord. Test data. Should move this out somewhere. You know? Because I've got a similar block of test data inside the Twitter operation. Start sets run state to true. Stop sets run state to false. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Mastodon looks good. Twitch chat. There's the run state. Start sets it to true. Stop sets it to false. But somewhere, oops. Somewhere up in here. Yep, there it is. Task from result. Enumerable empty. Good. Twitter. Actually, when stop is called on Twitch, yeah, it stops the IRC client. So Twitch uses an IRC client to connect. Over to Twitter. Run state. Yes, that's good. Here we are on get content for hashtag if we're not running. Yep. There's start. Run state is true. Yeah, that's fine. Stop. Run state equals false. No, I think we're okay on this one. Yeah. You not as concerned about that one. Blazont. There's the run state. If it's not there, enumerable empty. Start. Stop. I guess that's all right. I should do an enabled check on this, right? Yeah, keep all the things. The Azure Queue provider, where's start? If enabled. Right? Else, stop. Don't do anything. Yeah, where's the other one of those? Blue Sky, what do you got for me? Yep, we took care of that one. Mastodon. Oh, it's right there. Let's put that if enabled on that one. Right? If you're trying to start it and it's not enabled, don't do anything. I mean, I know it's kind of a double check. But I'd rather do the double check. Right, if enabled. Return. Yeah. Twitter. Same deal. Put that over here. Put this. Else. Put that. I don't need the else. Rats. Because it doesn't do anything else. Cool. All right. I think that improves our ability to start and stop various capabilities here. I'm going to restart it. And I wiped out my keys on it, so it's not connected to my YouTube right now. What did I miss? No, that's fine. Cool. We're live. Good. All right. So now what? Oh boy. I'm out of coffee again. This is terrible. How can I run out of coffee like this? So if I go back over here to the provider management screen. What? What do we got here? Twitch chat 217. What? And right, we can simplify that one. Oh no, I do need the else on that. Yeah. Return task, completed task. Go ahead, do your rebuild. Show me what you got there. Let me see. What do we got? Try that again. There we go. So Mastodon right now. See, look. Not started. Why aren't you started? You're enabled. Yeah, you. Close others. If enabled run state equals true. But it's showing... Oh, no, there it went. It just took some time. Okay. I'm all right with that. Cool. I'm going to commit those changes in my test branch that I'm working here. I'm going to roll these ones back. Because I have them committed and sitting in another branch. I don't want to confuse myself. So, update and push it out there. Yep. Yep, put it into my branch. My commit out there. Cool. Configuration is going to be a monster, and I'm right near time on this, right near my end time. So I don't want to necessarily go after that. Why are you out here? That's not where... No. I don't care. I'm putting that there. Get up there. Way up there. There we go. Put it right next to that one. And now delete that, John. That's where it's supposed to be. Sure. All right. So I've got Copilot instructions published in the right place here. And the Mastodon provider I cleaned up. So now I have an export messages feature here. Don't you tell me you went and restarted. No, it's still good. Yeah, there it is. See, like, some of these pages are really slow. I want to address that. I want to figure that out. Like, why is that? Right? Like, what are you doing? So, there's a handful of these types of features that we're going to go through and address. And that's fine. Did I see an error there? No, it's running. Yep, looks like it's running. Okay. Good. Like, what are you doing? Like, my UI is all locked up now. Eat broke. Like, it's having problems getting to the database or something. that all looks fine. But it's not. I don't get it. Like, that UI is hanging. The tags, it's not a public website. It's a redirect to GitHub. And yeah, right, it should route you to there. And you're right. My URL redirect is all locked up. Maybe this is the sign I need that it's time to go get some lunch. And yeah, I don't know why all of a sudden. Yeah, it's locked up tight. I'm gonna need to roll back and figure out what I did there. Oh boy. No lunch, only code fixes. I wish. I need to get some lunch, and I've got a meeting, a .NET Conf meeting that I need to get to here. Yeah. So let me stop the music and roll the closing music. Thank you so much for joining me. We did some repairs on the new map widget that I've rolled out for the Charlie chatbot. JavaScript natively to present the map, and the tour that it does looks so much better and performs so much better. And we'll stress and push that a little bit more in the days and weeks ahead. We spent some time looking at TagzApp. There were a couple of fixes that we rolled in there. There's some updates that I rolled out. I'm not going to merge them in just yet. I don't want to publish that while other folks are using TagzApp right now and run into some sort of a collision. So, I'll park that for now. We'll come back and we'll be doing more work on TagzApp throughout the month of August, and especially next time. Thank you so much for watching. Yeah, the Microsoft Developer Channel is live. It's their MCP Dev Days. I'm going to rate us over there where our friends are teaching all about how to use the Model Context Protocol so that you can extend AI capabilities in your applications for your users and other developers. All right? Thank you so much for tuning in. I will see you Thursday, and hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. I wish you good health and good coding. Take care.